Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today is going to be a match preview for Arsenal's upcoming game against Liverpool, and probably this will be Arsenal's hardest game of the season. You look at the opponents, the reigning Premier League champions at their ground as well. Definitely the toughest game of the season. Everyone knows how hard it is to go to Anfield and get a result, so there's absolutely no downplaying how tough this game is going to be. And it's here early, game week 3. Normally we play Liverpool quite later on the season, like maybe game week 10, game week 15, but this is quite early. It's come really early. But yeah, we're here game week 3, and there's so many positives about it, and as well there's so many negatives about this game as well, coming so early, and we will talk about it later in the video. And yeah, but yeah, let's get into a look. Liverpool, let's be honest, as of now Liverpool are probably Premier League favourites. Okay, they're a very good side, and there's a reason why they won the Premier League last season. Top side with a top manager, and with the summer signings they have made, for me they are favourites. They are clear favourites for the Premier League title. But with Arsenal, I believe we're not too far off from Liverpool. I believe there is a gap, but I don't believe it's as big as people may think or as people may seem. And I mean, our record against Liverpool in the last 6 Premier League fixtures, it's been good. They haven't beaten us once. And over the years, definitely since Arteta's come over, since Arteta's taken charge, we have definitely closed that gap in terms of quality, in terms of the gap between us and Liverpool. I know in trophies they have won a lot more trophies than us, but in terms of when we play against them, you can see the gap isn't too big. And of course, they haven't beaten us in the last 6 games, and it's definitely a record we want to keep going on and increasing. I mean, last season we drew both games 2-2, and I remember the home game at the Emirates Stadium, where there were parts of the game where I believe Arsenal were really on top. I mean, leading up to 2-1, Arsenal were on top of that game. But due to injuries, and I remember at one point near the end of the game, with Timber coming off, Gabriel coming off, we had Thomas Partey right back, we had Lewis Skelly just coming in. At that point, Lewis Skelly was not even a Premier League player. He was just being integrated. Like I said, we had Kiwior playing centre. At the end, the substitution, because of the dropping quality, is what really cost us at the end. And then at Anfield, when we did play them, we drew 2-2 again. And I know at that time they won the league. Don't worry, you don't have to tell me. But the point is, Liverpool were leading the game 2-0, I think, within 30 minutes. And at that point, it really did look like it was going to be a bloodbath. It looked like Liverpool were going to score 4 or 5. At that point, yeah, it was more about Arsenal just need to do damage control. But we clawed it back. We really did claw it back. I think it was both Marino and Martinelli who both scored. And to be honest, I think at the end we could have almost won it. I think Odegaard almost scored at the end. And that was a game we were playing at Anfield with Mikel Merino up front and a lot of injuries. There was, I don't even think Gabriel played at that game. We had a injury-ridden team, and we went to Anfield and we got a draw. So like I said, I don't think the gap is as big as people may think it is, or it may seem. But I really believe this season, this is the year Arsenal can really go to Anfield and get that win. I know it's crazy to say, considering how much I just praised Liverpool, saying they're the best team in the Premier League, are the favourites. But I think there is, like, it's not unreasonable to say that Arsenal can't go there and get a win. I mean, Liverpool themselves, they have not been as good as they have been last year. They have been conceding a lot of goals. Whether you want to blame, there's so many factors. So you can blame Konate, you can blame complacency, you can blame it just, early season rust. But the truth is, they simply don't look the same in terms of defending, because usually they're almost on par with us, but they just don't look the same. Both games this season, both the 2 games they played, both was at Bournemouth and then Newcastle, and both games they were leading 2 goals. They were leading 2 goals, and it looked like the game was over. And both games they conceded 2, and the game was brought back to level. And this is the area that Arsenal need to exploit in terms of Liverpool. Liverpool are not looking the strongest as of now. I mean, they were playing Szoboszlai right back. And this is a match where Arsenal really need to take advantage of Liverpool's weakness in terms of the defensive back line and really get that statement win. They haven't been defending set pieces really well. And what's our strength? Set pieces. That is literally our strength, and that is their weakness right now in terms of defending it. We saw against Newcastle. Every set piece Newcastle were going, they clearly identified a weakness, and they were launching the ball. Every free kick, every goal kick, straight launching it. And they even scored a goal from, they scored both goals from it. Bruno Gomares, I mean, wow, that was such a weak header. And Kirkus, I don't know what he was doing in terms of defending this. And it was such an avoidable goal, but they managed to get a goal somehow, Newcastle. And I just felt Liverpool, one thing about Liverpool is the fact that every time we do play against Liverpool, I do acknowledge, and I am honest, that their attack majority of the time, well, literally all the time, is way superior to us. And it's just because our front three, when we have played against Liverpool, you had the likes of Martinelli, Havertz, Jesus, Trossard. They're not the most clinical. And I think this time, the thing that gives me a bit more confidence is we have additions, we have better players, which gives me more confidence. Like you got that, we're going to talk about those two players like Gyökeres, Eze, and that's what gives me more confidence. And on top of that, their most recent two games have shown me Liverpool are still not 100% yet, and they can be gone now. I do feel if we do get a win, however we get a win, whether it's a corner, whether it's a flipping throw in that bounces off Gyökeres' arm or wherever it is, if we manage to get a win, it will send a massive statement to the Premier League. And I think this is honestly our best opportunity to try and get a win at Anfield. Liverpool are not playing the best. They have a few injuries in terms of the defense. They look shaky in defending, and we really need to take advantage of this situation. We got players that can hurt them in likes of Gyökeres, a striker that can actually score goals. I mean, previously when we went there, likes of Jesus, yes, I know Jesus is a brilliant player. Yes, I know Havertz is a good player, but they were not clinical. There were so many moments where we played against Liverpool, they used to slip up. But the thing is, our strikers were just not clinical enough. But this year we got a striker in Gyökeres who can smell blood. You give him an opportunity, he will take it. But let's not talk about Arsenal like we're the best team. Look, we have weaknesses ourselves, okay? But the game against Leeds did show me some confidence. And I think right now the biggest concern for Arsenal is the injuries. It looks like Saka is not going to play against Liverpool, and that is such a big miss. Saka's our best player, and he's such like I've talked about in my previous video that he's a player where he's got that trainer where even if he doesn't play well, he can still impact the game in terms of getting a goal and assist. And not having him is such a big miss. Yes, I know we got Madueke, but just not having the quality of a player like Saka is going to be such a big miss, and I think you will see that in the game. I hope we don't. I hope Madueke covers it, and I hope we don't even realize Saka's not playing. But I just feel like the level, the quality Saka has, I do feel that we will feel it. In terms of Odegaard, we're not even sure if Odegaard's going to start. I do have more confidence in Odegaard starting. But the thing is, he hasn't shown up in any of the training photos. I think also trained earlier, and he wasn't in any of the training photos. So I think also we'll train later in this week. So it would, if we do see him in training, I do think we will. Then it may be an indication that he may start. But yeah, it's just so unfortunate. Two key players out injured for such a big game. Yeah, and it's just like, it's so unfortunate. Every time it's like a big game, there's always some sort of injury that's just glooming over our heads. Like, we're in game week 3, by the way, and we already have 6 players injured. 6 players that can make an impact to the team. You got Saka out injured, you got Ben White, Odegaard, Trossard now, who didn't train, Havertz, Jesus. All these players, even though they may not start, they can make an impact. That's how you can win the Premier League. You need to have players off the bench that can make an impact. And we already have so many players out injured in game week 3, which is such a big concern. It just seems like the players we are signing for depth are the same ones again injured. Norgard is out injured. I just don't understand how we get so many injuries. Like, our luck with injuries has to be one of the worst ones in terms of the league. It seems like everyone is fit. Like, only last week everyone was fit. We were hearing Jesus is back in back on training with the grass and everything, and now we heard Havertz is having an operation. Ben White is still not fit. Trossard now has added to the list. Odegaard. It's just the injuries are always endless with us. But let's talk about the main talking point. Let's talk about the lineup, because for me this is key. And I'll upload a screenshot somewhere of the lineup. But this is the lineup you'll see I hope Arsenal go with. Of course, you can see Odegaard not playing, and I think that for me, I based that on the fact that I don't think Odegaard will be playing this game. And you can see my inclusion of Eze. I don't know what argument you can give me or what world there is that he doesn't start this game. It is simple. It is so simple. Eze has to start this game. He's been playing for Palace. This is not a player that's not match fit. He is fit. He's played pre-season for Crystal Palace. He played in the Premier League against Chelsea. He was even going to play last Thursday in the Europa League. This man is ready to start. He is match fit. And with both Saka and Odegaard out, we need creativity. We need someone to pull the string, someone that can do something different. And Eze is that player. He is that guy. And you see, I put him in midfield. And the reason why I put him in midfield is because you can see the left wing, and that is Martinelli. I think Martinelli should start this game as the left winger. And I know some people might think it's crazy because he didn't play against Leeds, but I 100% think he should play. Although he didn't get a single minute against Leeds, he needs to play this game because firstly, he always performs against Liverpool and he always managed to score a goal against them. Last season at Anfield when he played against Liverpool, especially second half, he was probably one of the best performers on the pitch. It was constant. It was a constant threat, constantly making runs. And of course, with Szoboszlai playing right back, out of position, that is a position we can definitely exploit. That is a position we should be looking to exploit with Martinelli's speed. On top of that, he can also do the defensive work. We know Liverpool are going to be attacking down that right wing with Mohamed Salah. So we need Martinelli there. Not only his attacking runs, but also the defensive work he can do. So that's why for me, I would start Martinelli. The rest of the team honestly picks itself. There's no explain. I don't even need to explain. If Odegaard does start, then I would of course play him in the midfield. Then I'll put Eze on the left wing. Regardless, Eze has to start. That is for me as simple as it can be. He's been bought for £67 million. He's not a £30 million player. He's £67 million from the Premier League, 27 years old. This is a man that needs to hit the ground running, and I'm sure he will. This is a man, why is the point of holding on to the bench? Like, play him. This is what we're going for. So I do think he will play. It's not like he's playing in a foreign league and he needs to adjust to the Premier League. He's been playing in the Premier League. So for me, I don't see what reason you can give me where he doesn't start this game. And I have heard on social media people are talking about 1 year restarting. For me, I think, I'm nothing against him, but I think this game might be a bit too early for him to start. He's a brilliant player, but playing at Anfield, especially in midfield, is going to be very difficult. And I think we just need more experience in that game. And that's why I go with Eze. Madueke on the right wing, he needs to constantly run at Kirkers, okay? Because Kirkers can be gotten at. And one thing about Madueke, he's constantly direct. He's always running as fullback, and I hope he carries on that. Even if he doesn't get past Kirkers once or twice, I hope he carries on and doesn't let that affect his confidence. I'm also hoping he needs to deliver on his end product. He needs to deliver some sort of good cross or cutback or something, because one of Saka's biggest strength is his decision making in that final third, and that's what separates him from a lot of the wingers in the Premier League. Is his decision making. He's always making the right decision, whether it's a cross, whether it's a shot, whether it's a cutback. He's always making the right decision. We saw Madueke play against Leeds at the right wing, and we saw glimpses of him, and I'm sure he will continue that because he will need to turn up. But the most important thing about this game is that we cannot concede first. Liverpool at Anfield are going to come flying out the blocks, and we need to just ensure we get through the first 15-20 minute storm, okay? We need to supply Gyökeres. I don't want to see any of this sideways passing, left back to right back to centre back, wherever it is. I want to see direct passing, because in the last game against Leeds, Gyökeres made so many runs, but he was never rewarded by it. I think putting Eze in the midfield is going to help Gyökeres, because if we don't supply Gyökeres, I can see this game being one of those games Gyökeres really struggles to make a mark and really struggles to get a touch in, because of who is he going up against. He's going up against Virgil van Dijk, top defender, probably the world's best defender right now. And if you watch Van Dijk, he loves a certain type of strikers. He loves going up against the typical strikers who are always back to goal. And Gyökeres sometimes does play back to goal. He struggles against the Jesuses, the false nines, because he doesn't know whether he needs to drop in deep or whether he sits back. So that's why for me, Gyökeres, we need to avoid Gyökeres doesn't fall into that trap. And the way we do that is constantly by feeding him the ball. Eze, whoever is playing midfield, we need to see the direct passes, because Gyökeres will constantly run, and I'm sure, and I just need the players to supply him, because he's the key. He can score a goal. He can put the ball in the back of the net. The matchup for Calafiori will also be very key. He's going up against Salah. I don't even recall him if he ever played against Salah. I can't remember off the top of my head, but usually he's good on 1v1 defendings. But this is going to be another key battle, because we cannot push Calafiori too high, because we know Mohamed Salah. We've seen him over the years. This guy is going to punish us. So we can't push Calafiori too high, or we will get punished. And Calafiori cannot be sloppy or lose the ball in midfield, because he has a tendency of running out with the ball. And if he loses the ball, behind him is Mohamed Salah, and that is not a player we want to lose the ball to. So that's one thing he cannot afford to, we simply cannot afford to do. But yeah, look, this is going to be a tough game. Liverpool have so many threats. You got Ekitike, you got Gakpo, you got Mohamed Salah, and Ekitike is on the form of his life probably right now. You also got the likes of Wirtz, and I know he hasn't been playing well. I know he's been mimicked, but what are the chances he scores his first Premier League goal against Arsenal? It's so typical for Arsenal. Every person who's struggling always manages to score against Arsenal, always. I remember a few seasons ago, Núñez was struggling, and what does he do? He goes and scores against Arsenal, okay? So we just cannot afford to be sloppy, because against Liverpool, we will get punished for it. But if we do win, it will be a massive, massive statement. A draw, personally, I don't have any issues with that. I'll take it. Anfield is a very tough place. We still remain unbeaten. And a loss, if we do lose, I'll be honest with you, yes, it is going to be 100% disappointing. I'm not going to be happy about it. I don't think any Arsenal fan will be happy about it. But the truth is, it's not the end of the world. Like, it doesn't mean Arsenal season is over. There is just so many games left to play. That's why the fact that this game came so early, that's probably one of the only thing about it. If we do lose, it's not the end of the season. There's just so many more games to play. And I think whichever team loses, even if it's Liverpool, it's not the end of the season for them because, like I said, there's more games to play. And I'm pretty sure the season's going to have so many twists and turns. But look, if Arsenal do win, okay, let's forget about draws. Let's forget about losses. Let's talk about wins. If Arsenal do somehow manage to get a win at Anfield, that is going to be massive. And I 100% think that is absolutely doable. You look at the team. You look at the new additions we have. Why can't we go win at Anfield? We have a much better team than we had last season. We have a striker that can score goals. We have more attacking players. We have Eze now potentially playing on the left, and if he plays on the left, that's already an improvement to our left wing. If he plays at cam, that's already a different type of player that we haven't had. So this team is good enough to go win at Anfield. So yeah, but yeah, the most important thing is, guys, let me know what you guys think. Let me know your predictions. For me, like I said, I do feel confident. I do think the Arsenal can go get a result there just because of how many players we have now, the more added quality we have, and Liverpool potentially not playing the best right now. But the injuries is my only worry. No Odegaard potentially, and definitely no Saka. That's my biggest concern, because if we did have Saka, I'd feel even more confident. If we had Odegaard, I'd feel even more confident. But I do think the players that are coming in are just as good, to make sure, just so that we don't feel that we are missing them. Maybe we might feel, maybe it's certain parts of the game we may feel that we are missing Saka, but hopefully Madueke does perform. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one.